What if I told you that some of the most electric performers to ever step into a WWE ring were forced to walk away right when they were peaking? Not because fans stopped caring, not because the magic ran out, but because their bodies simply gave out before their legacies were finished being written. Today, we're counting down 5 WWE superstars whose careers ended way too soon. Wrestlers who still had championship runs left in them, still had unforgettable matches waiting to happen, and still had millions of fans hoping for one more entrance. Some of these retirements broke our hearts in real time, and one of them happened in the middle of a live show, in front of a stunned crowd that had no idea what they were witnessing. Stick around till the end, because number 1 might be the saddest what could have been story in wrestling history, so let's get into it. At number 5, Sting spent decades as one of wrestling's most mysterious and respected figures, but his WWE run was tragically brief. In 2015, during a match against Seth Rollins, he attempted a buckle bomb that went wrong, and he suffered a serious neck injury, with doctors later confirming spinal stenosis and a risk of permanent paralysis that was simply too high to ignore. He was forced into retirement almost immediately, with no proper farewell tour and no championship send-off, and fans never got to see the full WWE chapter of the icon that they'd waited years for. At number 4, before he became Mr. WrestleMania in his second act, Shawn Michaels was forced out of the ring at the absolute height of his powers. A severe back injury in 1998 left him unable to perform basic in-ring movement, and doctors warned that continuing could risk permanent damage. He was only in his early 30s, already considered one of the greatest performers alive, and suddenly, his career looked finished. Thankfully, he returned years later, but the version of Shawn Michaels we lost in 1998 never got to show the world what else he had left. At number 3, Daniel Bryan's story is one of the most emotional in modern WWE history. After years of in-ring punishment, repeated head injuries, and growing concern from doctors, he was medically forced to retire in 2016, delivering a tearful goodbye speech on Raw that left the entire arena in tears. He had just become one of the biggest stars in the company, beloved by fans worldwide, and it all seemed to end overnight. He eventually returned and added more chapters to his legacy, but that original retirement robbed fans of what should have been years more of his prime. At number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin redefined what a wrestling superstar could be, but by 2003, years of neck damage caught up with him. He stepped away from full-time competition far earlier than fans expected, never getting a proper final world championship run befitting his legendary status. And considering how dominant he was just years before stepping back, it's hard not to wonder what more he could have accomplished with a healthy neck and a few more years in his prime. And at number 1, in 2011, Edge was the reigning World Heavyweight Champion, arguably performing at the best level of his entire career, when doctors discovered severe spinal stenosis and told him that one more hard bump could leave him paralyzed. He had to retire instantly, announcing it live on Raw while still holding the title. With no farewell tour, no final WrestleMania moment, nothing. Just an abrupt, heartbreaking end for a performer at his absolute peak. Incredibly, he returned nearly a decade later, but the years stolen from him in his prime can never truly be replaced. Wrestling is brutal, and these 5 stories prove that sometimes the toughest opponent isn't another superstar. It's the human body itself. Which of these retirements hit you the hardest? Drop your pick in the comments, let me know who else deserves a spot on this list, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for more WWE deep dives, and I'll see you in the next video.